It's been a particularly difficult stretch for the trucking industry, in part because they're not shipping as much fracking equipment to shale regions. But the sector is also suffering from a shortage of truck drivers. And as Morgan Brennan reports, some companies are finding new recruits to fill those jobs.
Tiffany Deering doesn't fit the stereotype of a truck driver, and she knows it. For the past year, as a team driver with her husband, she's traveled across the country delivering freight for Werner Enterprises, spending 3 weeks at a time on the road. When she parks her big rig at a truck stop, people do a double take.
Oh, wait, you drive too? And they kind of step back for a second. They're like, oh, really? And I'm like, yeah, I drive.
Deering is part of a growing population of women drivers being recruited by trucking companies battling a severe driver drought. The trucking industry faces a shortage of 150 to 200,000 drivers over the next 3 to 5 years, as baby boomers retire and a recovering economy means more demand for more trucks hauling goods. Fleet operators like Werner, Swift Transportation, Covenant Transportation, and Snyder have turned to a previously untapped labor pool. Women like Tiffany, offering incentives including 401ks, tuition reimbursement, and starting salaries in the $50,000 to $60,000 range. And it's working. Women now comprise about 6% of the overall U.S. truck driver population. Still a modest fraction, but up from 4.5% 5 years ago.
It's definitely kind of a man's world still a little bit, but it's getting away from that. I mean, I'm amazed every time I go into a truck stop with how many female drivers that I'm seeing.
Part of the appeal? Modified trucks with easier to drive automatic transmissions and driver cabs with ergonomic changes that better accommodate women's bodies. Plus, the ability for female drivers to earn the same pay as their male counterparts.
When you work in a male-dominated profession, you make typically more money than when you work in a female-dominated profession. So as a truck driver, you make the same amount of money as your male peers because you're either paid by the mile or the load or the percentage.
Werner Enterprises, whose driver fleet consists of 9% women, higher than the industry average, reports female drivers are actually outperforming men.
Our female drivers, as an example, have about a 25% lower accident cost, but they're having smaller accidents. They're not having the big ones, if you will, where maybe the attention to detail is a little better, maybe the focus, or maybe just the concern is something they bring to the party that makes them better drivers.
And recruiting is starting young. The Women in Trucking Association has even created a Girl Scout badge to educate young women about potential careers in transportation. And companies say all of this is only the beginning.
I think that trucking industry could use a few more women.
For Nightly Business Report, I'm Morgan Brennan.